Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do Kuta Software Algebra 1, More Properties of Exponents. Let's review the properties first. Property 1. When multiplying like bases, you add their exponents. When dividing like bases, you subtract the exponents. When taking it to the power, you multiply exponents. Any number to the power 0 is 1. When taking it to a negative exponent, it is reciprocal. So you do 1 divided by x to the m. Notice the negative exponent is now gone. And if the negative exponent is on the bottom, it moves to the top and it is no longer negative. Let's practice on number 1. There are several ways to do this. Here is one way. You can do what's in the parenthesis first by using property 1. So when multiplying like bases, you add the exponents. So adding -2 and -3, it is more negative. So it's -5. And then take that to the power of 4. Now use property 3, where you multiply the exponent. So it's x to the -20. Now use property 5. When you have a negative exponent, it is reciprocal. So x goes to the bottom and it is now positive. Let's try number 3. You first use rule number 3 and multiply exponents. So it's n to the 9th times 2 n to the -1. 2 is a coefficient. You always write coefficients first. Now use property 1, where you in multiplication you add the exponents. 9 plus -1 is 8. Number 5 is a bigger problem. We want to handle the coefficients first. I see a 3 on the bottom, which will cancel with the 3 on top. Now let's multiply the two other coefficients, the 2 and the 4. So that is 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my division bar, and I'm going to simplify the numerator first. Add all the exponents of x. There's a 2, another 2, and an invisible 1. So 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. How about the y's? I have a 4 here, add it to that 4, and we have 8. Now just write the denominator down for now. Now let's use property 2. In division of like bases, you subtract exponents. So 5 minus the -3 is 8. So you have the coefficient 8, the x, and then we subtracted it and we got 8. And again, subtract the exponents of y. 8 minus 2 is 6. Let's try number 7. I'm going to draw your division bar and leave the 4x squared on the bottom for now. Use property 1 to add the exponents of x. So that would be 6. And then y cubed. You may not leave 2 x's in your answer. You need to simplify. Use property 2. In division, you subtract exponents. So 6 minus 2 is 4. You have your y cubed, and you have your 4 on the bottom. The x's were taken care of here. Number 9. Let's leave the top x alone. Now remember, x to the 0 is 1. So it's like thinking 2 times 1 is just 2. To the second power is 4. Let's try the second page. All right, here you have a whole parenthesis with a negative exponent. So one way to deal with it is to move the entire parenthesis to the bottom. So we have 2m squared. Now that it's moved, it is no longer negative, and to the first power, I don't really have to write the 1. I still have an m squared down here, and if there's nothing on top, you need to put a 1. So we have 1 over. So we distribute these, the 2 is a coefficient, and combine the 1s using property 1 where you add the exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. Number 13 is simple. Everything to the power of 0 is 1. And we're done. Number 15. BA to the 4th is just sitting there minding its own business. But this parenthesis has a negative exponent. It is moving to the bottom. The whole parenthesis goes 2BA to the 4th. Once it's moved, the negative is gone. It's just to the 3rd power. We're going to simplify that. So the BA to the 4th can really cancel with one of these BAs to the 4th. But we'll work with that later. That's a couple ways to do it. This is one way. So leave the BA to the 4th on top. Distribute your power of 3 to each element in here. Take each one to the 3rd power. So 2 to the 3rd power is 8. B to the 3rd power and A to the 12th using property 3 where you multiply those exponents. Now we use property 2. We're going to subtract. There's an invisible 1 here. So 1 minus 3 is negative 2. You're going to subtract the exponents of A. 4 minus 12, negative 8. And 8 is all alone. So you combine the B's and combine the A's, so you don't have to write anymore. Now B and A have both negative exponents, so they're both going under. Nothing is left on top. Coefficients go first. I want to write the A first alphabetically. 8 is now positive because it moved, and B is also positive. Number 17. Let's combine the numerator K's. So 2 stands alone. K, you want to add the exponents. 3 plus 2 is 5. And just keep this the same. Now use property 2. In division, you subtract the exponents. 5 minus negative 3 is 8. Don't forget to write the K and 8. Number 19. Notice this parenthesis has a negative exponent. All of it is going under. So nothing is left. I put the 1. So 2x, now it's positive, but you've got to remember the positive exponent. There's an invisible 1 here, and you want to add the exponents. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And we know that anything to the power of 0 is 1, which we don't need to write. So 1 over, distribute your power. 2 to the 4th is 16, and x to the 4th. Number 21 is a long one. We'll deal with it a little bit at a time. Right off the bat, I see this bottom 2 will cancel with the top 2, so I'll take it off. All right, and q to the 0 is 1, so don't have to worry about that. Okay, I will write everything else. Let's move a little bit at a time. This parenthesis here has a negative exponent, so I'm moving the entire parenthesis to the bottom. So 2pm to the negative 1, take it to the positive 4 because it moved. So that's taken care of. I still have an m to the negative 1 p cubed, and down here pq squared is still there. Now, let's distribute the fourth power, leaving m to the negative 1 p cubed alone. 2 to the fourth power is 16, p to the fourth power, and m to the negative 4, because I distributed it. And you still have the pq squared. Let's combine the p's on the bottom and leave the top alone for now. 16. There's an invisible 1 here, and using rule number 1, you add exponents. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then you still have the m negative 4, and then q squared. You used up that p. So now let's combine the m's. So top exponent is negative 1 minus the bottom exponent negative 4. Minus a negative is to add. So negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Therefore, it's m to the third power. Let's combine the p's. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Over, you still have the 16. We already combined the p's and the m's. We still have a q squared. One last thing. P has a negative exponent. P has to move. M cubed stays on top. 16. And P is now has a positive exponent and q squared. This was a long problem. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or would like to see another video on a different math topic, please leave a comment.